journaling progress with some coffee has to be the most fun thing ever, right? Okay, so I really wanted to give a lovely update on my journaling. Excuse me, I have to move the camera a little bit so it's not pointing to the sky. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of journaling recently, and I have to say, I cannot believe I used to be afraid of it. I cannot believe it, because now when I'm doing it, like, okay, let me just show you what I did yesterday. And it's actually, I was watching a YouTube video about composting, and I'm really eager to learn, and whenever I watch a really good informative video, I'm always trying to take notes, and I noticed, like, I don't like typing on the phone. So what I did was, I was like, okay, maybe I should turn this into a journal. So, like, believe it or not, I'm never the type that enjoyed, like, going to school and taking notes, because I wasn't interested in any of the stuff that they were teaching. Most of the stuff, I was interested in some of the stuff, but not all of the stuff. Most of the stuff, when I wasn't interested, I hated taking notes, I hated studying for it, I hate everything about it. However, for the things that I'm actually interested in, I just realized this, like, at 7, that I actually love taking notes, and I love learning about it, and it's so much fun. And I just wish I knew about this sooner, and I wish I'd did more journaling up until now, because I wasted so many opportunities to create these wonderful, just colourful pages that are so fun to look back on. And it's so much better than looking at a blank journal, honestly, because for years I had this blank journal, didn't do anything with it, was too afraid of making mistakes, and now I'm actually actively making mistakes, and I'm kind of making fun of it, which is what I really enjoy doing. Let me share with you this page. This is yesterday's entry, and it's basically just everything I've learned about the composting. I was watching a really informative video about how to compost. It was like turning black gold or something. It was a really good video. And the guy was talking about, like, what he was using, and he started saying, like, toilet paper rolls and stuff. And I was like, no, I gotta remember this. And I started typing it. I was like, no, all the notes are just so all over the place. And I just couldn't get everything down. And then I was like, why don't I just make a freaking journal entry? So I did. And then I started writing, and then I realized my writing was going off. And that was what I always hated, that my writing would, like, start slanting towards one side, which is what happened. And then I started writing downwards. You know how when you're writing, you want to write straight, and you want to write, like, to the point and straight, and you don't want to write, like, slightly down. And I started doing that. I was like, oh no. So I made, like, a comment about it. It's like, oh no, this looks really weird or something. It looks really... And then, like, there's so many things that I could pick out wrong with this page. Like this page, like the writing something, like the frickin', like, the writing isn't straight enough, even though there are lines that line straight, because it was dark, so I couldn't see very well. So yeah, it's like, okay, there's my reasoning. Maybe I should write that down. It was dark and I couldn't see well. That I can remember, oh, this is why I couldn't write straight. But anyway, what I love looking at is the lovely colourful page of notes that I took. And you know what? If I ever want to compost, like, it could be about anything, really. But if I ever want to compost, I can, like, instead of looking at my notepad on my phone, which is not a really good way to put all your information, because I find it very hard on notepad, because firstly, there's just one notepad and I have all my information on one page, so when you want to find it, it's very hard. So I love just being able to come back onto this page and look at it. I mean, like, I just don't know why I didn't do this sooner, because it's so much fun. Like, what's really cool was I was just doing it and I was just having so much fun with it, and I wasn't even thinking about, oh, this crappy mistake I was making. I was, like, doing all these mistakes, and then I kept, like, making them, and then I circled it when I was, like, writing the wrong thing, and then I was, like, if I misspelled words, and I would write in red writing, like, oh, what it's supposed to be and stuff. So, like, I just think it's so important to integrate the mistakes into your journal and just be happy with it and just be okay with it. Well, maybe not be happy with it, but be okay with it and like embrace it and actually just use it to make it into something more meaningful. Like, there's just so much fun when you're looking back on this page. Like if you look at this page, I'll show it in more detail. Look at this. This page is not in any way written in the way that I would find acceptable in the past. This was written with the writing going downwards, but you know what? I'm looking back at it and I'm actually okay with it. And you know what's really fun is I'm actually doodling these little pictures that I did when I was really young, like the poo picture. Because this says do not compost like pet waste, right? So I had to like do poo and I drew a picture of a poo. And the last time I drew a picture of poo was when I was in school, which was like what, 25 or 30 years? No, like something like that. Yeah, a long time ago. So it is just so much fun. Like, it is so much fun and I just really enjoy it. And there's another entry that I did, this ice cream entry. And what I really love about it I got the ice cream and I was like, oh, I really like the packaging. The packaging is so nice. And then I was like, wait a minute, I could just tear it off and paste it into my journal. Because usually, you know, what would happen to that? It would get tossed out, right? But when you have a journal to keep everything, you can paste in all these things that you usually would throw out. And then you can paste it and you can look at it and you go like, oh, okay, I remember when I ate this ice cream because I was like stressed that day. And like it tasted like, and then I wrote down what it tasted like. It was just so awesome. And then also like these tags. This one is like one thing I did by accident was I was turning the page and I forgot where I was at, so I turned 2 pages into one, and so I had left something blank in the middle. So this is the page that I was doing. I did this first, and then I had to go back to do. And what I really love was this page was just so much creativity that I'm looking back and I can't tell you how much I love looking at this page. I just love it. It looks so cool. And you know what? My drawing isn't the best. Like, when I was making this page, I didn't even leave enough room. Let me just show you a bit. I didn't even leave enough room for the text to actually fit the freaking frame here. Like, the text, I started writing the text and it was too big, and then I realized at the end I was running out of space, so I had to like squeeze it in. And then I was like, oh, it looks so bad. But I didn't tear the page. That was a really good thing. And I just kind of like scribbled or doodled around it. And you know, I'm still happy with it and it still looks really good. And I find that as I'm doing it, as I'm writing more and more and more, my doodling of the text, like the bubble text that I like to do for the heading, I actually am starting to like it better. It's crazy. Like, I'm writing this and I'm like, oh, I actually like my handwriting a bit more. Although I can't say the same about my actual handwriting writing, because sometimes I'm writing in a rush and it's like, it looks really messy. But I'm appreciating it, and I love being able to just draw random pictures and not worry so much about how horrible it looks, because I'm not trying to draw perfect. I'm just trying to draw a picture, and if it turns out to look really weird or different, I'll make a funny sarcastic comment about it and I'll go like, this thing totally, like, I was trying to draw a watermelon seed and for some reason it looked like a drop of water, so I made a comment about it. So, you know, it's just fun because I can look back on this and laugh about like all the silly things that I did. It's like, instead of like this perfect journal that everything has to be absolute perfect, like that is just very, very unattainable for many people, including me, because I'm not at the stage where I can just put in a pencil down on a piece of paper and draw a perfect picture. I wish I could do that, but I think that's, when I see that, I'm like admiring, and at the same time I just feel like it's impossible to ever get to that stage, like without erasing it like 300 times and like making mistakes and then just tearing off the page in frustration because I couldn't do it right. Then I had to just accept that I had to just do it and not worry about having it looking perfect. I have to embrace a crappy journal or a crappy picture or crappy sketchbook. So that's like, I wouldn't even call it crappy, but it's more like just like imperfect is what I should say. Imperfect, not crappy, because you don't want to think, oh, this is crappy. You just want to think, this is imperfect, and I'm going to embrace it. And that's what I really, really am starting to do with this journaling. And that's really, really cool, because that was never something I even thought was possible. Like, even like a few weeks ago, I remember saying, oh, maybe I should just make a perfect journal. But no, it's like, no. Like, I changed my mind completely. Perfect journals, like, maybe one day when I'm getting to that skill level, maybe I will do one. But right now, I'm just loving the imperfect journal. I'm loving being able to write stuff and looking back on what I wrote. Like, I don't know what was so intimidating about this piece of damn blank paper. It's like, oh, back to my childhood, really, because I'll always remember that when I was in like preschool, the teacher would get us all to draw a picture. She would draw like this beautiful bird on the board. I don't know how she did it, like, it was just, it's on the board. And she's like, everyone draw it. And all the kids were like just drawing it. I don't even remember what they did. But I turned in a blank piece of paper every single time. Every time I turned in a blank piece of paper. I couldn't start it. I just couldn't bring myself to put my pen down. I was so scared of making mistakes. Like, this was when I was like 5 or 4 years old. So it's not even something that is taught or learnt, because all the other kids were fine drawing. I just couldn't do it. I feel like there was just something in me. I was just so terrified. And then I remember my mum saw that I couldn't do it. She sent me to art school. So the art school actually taught me how to draw basic shapes. Circles, squares, very basic stuff. I started drawing basic stuff. I started learning how to draw from the basics. And suddenly, guess what happened? This is something that I sort of vaguely remember, but I was also told this a lot when I was like younger. Like, I was told this story. When I went back to that class and the teacher drew the same thing, guess what happened? I actually started drawing it. Like, it's so crazy that, like, I went from like being too scared to drawing when I knew the basics. So this is why I'm suggesting to do a journal. Just, if you really don't want to ruin a journal, don't buy a journal that's too perfect, like those really expensive journals that look absolutely perfect. Buy the same journal, 3 copies. I do think that will work, because this was the journal that I had 3 of. I had 3 of the same journal because it was on sale. It's like going back to buy a time machine for $10 and to buy one get one free. I'm referencing a regular show if anyone doesn't realize. But anyway, my point is, it's like I bought the same journal 3 times, so I have an extra. So when you're writing on it, and you don't have to think, okay, this is the only journal I have. If I ruin it, I'm over, done for. So if you have the second, don't buy 3 different journals, buy the 3 same journals. And I suggest the dotted ones are really good, because it gives you kind of, even though it didn't really work for me, I had like all these mistakes and stuff as my writing still went off. The dotted journals are great because you can kind of like easily draw and add things, and it's not like, I don't like the line journals as much, because I feel like it's very hard for me to put drawings on because of the lines. So I like the dotted journals. And it's not really, the dots are very pale in this situation, so I really like it. You could get, maybe the blank journal might be a little more intimidating, so I think the dotted journal is probably the best one, and get 3 of them. Believe me, if you're like me and you're having a hard time starting by 3 of the same damn journal, it'll really help you. And also, when you're buying stickers and stuff, get 2 of the same type of stickers if you really like it, so you would actually use it. Because I know I often like buy a sticker set and it looks so pretty, so I'm like keeping it in my little box of sticker collection, and I'm like, I'm never using it because it looks so nice. It's like, who would want to rip the sticker off when it looks so perfect, right? So a lot of times, like these days, I either buy like the really cheap stickers that I don't have too much of a connection with, that doesn't look like so perfect that I find difficult to use, and I also buy the same sticker like twice. These ones that like I got this is the second copy, so I do have another copy in my box, little box, treasure box of stickers, which I might do like a sticker collection thing one day. I might make a sticker collection video. But anyway, I just cannot get over how much fun I'm having journaling, and how my mindset changed so much from that I am so terrified of making mistakes and screwing the journal up and having to toss out every single page and having no pages in the end. I have not ripped a single page out of this journal, and I love it because I'm able to fully go in with my creativity, and I'm finding that I'm getting better as I'm journaling every day. So this is another reminder for you to do what you're really afraid of, and do what I did. Surround yourself with that topic. Just keep watching videos about it, keep learning about it, keep finding pictures to inspire you, keep being surrounded by that thing that you're interested in. This is what I learned from that Dr. K video I mentioned ages ago, that it really is like exposure to the thing you're curious about. Exposure, it will finally make you kind of like just do. I feel like just being exposed to it, to different types of this, like journaling, to different pictures, to every day consuming so much journaling stuff has actually made me do it. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, maybe watching this video will make you do it. I don't know. I hope so. But anyway, yeah, it's been so much fun, and I hope you get to feel what I feel instead of that fear, because you just have to do it. You just have to start doing it to get through the fear. You can't get through the fear by not doing it. Like, you just like go around it. Like, you can't ever get through the fear if you don't do it. But once you do it, you will find the fear will just slowly go away. And it actually reminds me, I still remember when I used to go to university, I would be so stressed out on the first day of the semester when I got given the sheet of paper to say, like, this is the stuff that you have to turn in by the end. And I remember that god-awful feeling, like that stress feeling where it's like, oh my god, it's never going to, like, I'm never going to be able to do it, is the feeling I got. It's such a negative, like, powerful feeling in the beginning. But as I get through, even though I hated it, I was still able to do it. Like, the feeling was just, like, there in the beginning, but towards the end it wasn't as strong, so I was still able to do it, although I didn't do well. But it's like, seriously, I didn't do very well there. I just didn't do very well. But anyway, it's, my point is not so much that, oh, like, do the study or whatever, but it's that sometimes you get this feeling in the beginning that feels so strong because your mind is trying to, like, protect you from doing mistakes, but it doesn't realize that journaling, there's no real consequence if you fuck up your journal. So yeah, that's why I say you just have to keep surrounding yourself with what you're really, really curious about. Keep learning about it, and then surround yourself with the journals every day. Look at it, and then one day you're gonna pick up the pen and just go like, damn it, I can't take it anymore, and you're gonna start, and then when you start, it's like you're gonna slowly get through your fear. So yeah, that's my little coffee and chat today. I hope you found it motivational. Go do journal. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do journal if you don't feel like it. Just do whatever that you really want to do. That's what I would suggest.